Japan's folklore is filled with many supernatural monsters or spirits called yokai, which, as you may already know, come in all shapes, sizes, and types. There are more yokai in Japan than taters in Idaho, or so I've heard. Some yokai are very dangerous, deadly beings that can cause great harm to the humans they encounter. In fact, this video is a collaboration with the YouTube channel Linfamy that made a video about those very yokai. More on that video later. While some yokai are dangerous, many are harmless. And some are not even scary, like Tofu Kozo, the tofu boy.
I see they both
This
use
yokai
the
resembles
plushie
a
thing.
boy simply holding a block of tofu. Then there are the yokai that aren't so dangerous, but they are very annoying. So in this video, I'm going to list the 8 most annoying yokai who may not kill you, but will irritate you to no end, simply because they can. And in no particular order, let's get started. Anyone who has lived in an old house has likely heard those annoying creaks and other noises that always seem to come late at night from nowhere in particular. Most people will credit these noises to bad plumbing, humidity causing the wooden parts of the house to expand, or something vaguely plausible like that. However, in Edo-era Japan, there was another explanation when these noises occurred in the mainly wooden houses of the time. That is, they were caused by a horde of small yokai called yanari, which literally means house creaking. The sole occupation of the yanari was simply to make annoying noises in old houses that keep the residents up at night. If creaking and cracking wasn't loud enough, yanari were also known to drop and break things. And when even this wasn't enough,
my cats already did that.
Also been known to make the house shake as if during an earthquake. That last scenario was recorded in the Taihei Hyaku Monogatari during the Edo period.
Don't particularly care about
a haunted house and experience what they think is an earthquake. However, once they escape the house, they soon realize that only the house was shaking rather than the earth. No doubt this was the work of mischievous and annoying yanari. Aside from yanari, other yokai are known to make annoying noises, like for example Azuki Hakari, the bean counter, who will stop around a person's attic at night, then make the sound of scattering beans. But I believe yanari are more annoying. Ceiling stains are often found in old, unkempt houses or houses with leakage problems in their roofs. However, according to Japan's
or when you get flooded by your neighbor like I did
from the Edo period, Toriyama Sekien, this phenomenon is not always caused by shoddy roof work. If stains are found on someone's ceiling, it might also be due to a tall, grotesque yokai called tenjo name, which literally means ceiling licker. The older a traditional Japanese house became, the more dirt and grime would build up on its ceiling.
Damn.
And to the tenjo name, this is the most delicious grime there is. Tenjo name was said to appear on cold, dark nights in houses with high ceilings, where it would lick off that sweet, sweet ceiling grime with its long tongue, and afterward leave those annoying ceiling stains that are so hard to get rid of. Sekien adapted the tenjo name's image from a Muromachi
This doesn't sound too annoying though.
Hyakiyagyo, or Night Parade of 100 Demons. However, another scroll gave this same creature the name Isogashi, like the Japanese word for busy, Isogashi, and this was later interpreted by the mangaka Shigeru Mizuki as a yokai who caused and fed off of people's restlessness. Although this was a 20th century interpretation, Mizuki's Isogashi is actually much more annoying than Sekien's tenjo name, because nobody likes to be restless or have anxiety. In a way, tenjo name and Isogashi are like annoying yokai siblings. If anyone is watching this video as a distraction from their homework, they already know that studying is hard enough on its own without having to worry about a horrific yokai jumping out of the darkness to distract you while you study. This is why it's all the more annoying to encounter a yokai called Himamushi Nyudo, or the Firebug Monk, whose sole purpose is to distract people from their work, waste their time, and steal the light they use to do it late at night.
Hey, that's TikTok!
Another yokai first recorded
or
in the
any social
of
media apps
Sekien.
nowadays.
Sekien adapted the character from a popular sketch, which used the characters for Himamushi.
So like you need a distraction?
For wasting time.
Just turn on the stream on YouTube,
Nyudo,
or TikTok, or watch a short video.
According to Sekien, the Himamushi yokai is a reincarnation of the souls of people who were lazy in life. Once in yokai form, these souls now want to waste the time of others as well. The Himamushi Nyudo hides under the floorboards of a house, waiting for the perfect time late at night when their victim is struggling to focus on their work or studies in dying lamplight because this yokai eats lamp oil, when suddenly the grotesque, long-necked Himamushi Nudo emerges from the darkness simply to scare their victim and make it that much harder for them to focus on their work.
Don't worry, people don't focus nowadays anyway.
Means God or spirit behind you is just that, a spirit or yokai that loves to make people think it's in front of them before it suddenly appears behind them, pulls the hair on the back of their head or neck, then vanishes before they can turn around to see it. Few will likely ever see Ushirogami because it's behind them. That's literally its name. But those who do manage to catch a glimpse of this annoying spirit will see what looks like a female ghost or yurei with a long tail rather than legs, long hair, and a single eye on the top of its skull. At least that's how Toriyama Sekien initially drew it. Although Ushiro literally means rear or behind, there are a number of puns at work with this yokai. If changed slightly, the characters of Ushirogami's name can be said almost the same way to mean the hair on the back of one's head, invoking a Japanese expression, pulling the hair on the back of your head, which refers to a feeling of reluctance. As in Sekien's illustration, Ushirogami is also thought to cause gusts of wind that will invert or blow away umbrellas.
Considering that they also pull the hair at the back of people's heads.
Losing one's nerve or giving into cowardice. Due to this association with fear or reluctance, the Ushirogami is also thought of as a kind of Okyubyogami, or spirit of cowardice, like the yokai called Buruburu, who causes the shivers you feel when you're afraid. Both of these yokai can be seen as physical representations of one's personal fears, and there is little that is more annoying than being afraid, aside from maybe a yokai that sneaks up behind you and pulls your hair. In old Japan, as today, the cutting and styling of hair was a big deal and could be very costly. These days, many people, like myself, even spend as much as $14 every 3 months at supercuts just on their hair. But that's simply the price of looking good. This is why it's so very annoying when, after getting our hair just right, a yokai with a scissor-like beak and hands silently sneaks up behind us and cuts a big chunk out of our luxuriant, full-bodied hair. This yokai is called kamikiri, literally
my former
hairstylist.
hairstylist.
I should note that the kamikiri has multiple
hair cutter. I don't know if I call her a stylist. Did that.
Sawaki Sushi.
She cut a hole at the nape of my neck. Like at the nape, at the back of my neck, and then covered it with other hair.
Monster.
So I only saw it when I pulled my hair up in a ponytail.
Incidentally, Shigeru Mizuki adapted both of these for his
Then
manga.
she cut badly.
Is known to silently sneak through windows, hide in bathrooms or under roof tiles, waiting for
$14. That person is getting a deal, man.
Cut them and leave its victims to go about their day.
I live in a poor country and I pay more.
They now look like Keith Flint from The Prodigy. The kamikiri is so stealthy that often its victims don't realize they've been cut until they look into a mirror or their neighbors start pointing and snickering. As you can imagine, the more hair someone has, the worse the damage, and thus it was an especially bad problem in old Japan when long hair was standard and hairstyles often denoted social status. On a more positive note, some believed a kamikiri attack warned the victim they were about to marry a yokai. So if you suddenly find a chunk of your hair missing, you might want to check your fiancé for a kitsune tail. The next yokai doesn't really have a name and instead is identified by the tail in which it appears.
But nowadays, plugs are...
the foot-washing mansion, and was recorded in a collection of folktales from the Honjo area called
Don't judge people for their king.
The story in question follows a samurai named Ajino, whose house was visited by a giant, dirty, seemingly disembodied foot that broke into the house through the ceiling and demanded in a loud, bellowing voice,
"Wash my foot."
Anyone who has visited Japan knows that the Japanese really don't like dirty feet tracking dirt around the house, and of course the bigger the foot, the more dirt. However, Ajino soon discovered that if he had his servants wash the giant foot, it would retreat back through the ceiling from whence it came. The problem was it came back the next night, and the next, etc., until eventually Ajino refused to wash it, and the foot began smashing more holes in his ceiling. A collapsing roof is potentially very dangerous, however it seems this giant foot had no intention of harming the household as long as it was washed every day, which of course is a really annoying chore to have to do. Some have theorized that the yokai in this tale is in fact a shape-shifting tanuki or raccoon dog playing a prank on its victims. If so, it should be noted that tanukis are more than just annoying, they are also fun-loving and, at times, very dangerous. But it seems no one knows for sure
They
what
invented
that giant
dailies,
dirty foot
chat.
was. And now for something completely different.
They invented dailies.
One of the most vulnerable places a human being can be is on the toilet doing their business. Perhaps this is why Japan has a number of yokai, or urban legends, that target those on the bowl. For example, the kanbari nyudo that will peep into bathrooms on New Year's Eve. Or the urban legend of Akamanto, the school toilet stall killer. The yokai of this entry is not really dangerous like the latter, but still very few of us would ever hope to encounter it. In fact, while doing our business, one of the last things any of us would want to experience, short of meeting the Akamanto, is to feel a furry hand coming up from within the toilet to stroke our butt. This is the role of a yokai called kurote, which literally means black hand. Kurote is a furry, again seemingly disembodied arm that has been known to hang out in toilets, waiting for someone to use them. In today's world, Kurote would likely lose its sponsorship deal with Charmin and be cancelled. But in Edo-era Japan, it was a little more difficult to deal with. In the most famous legend regarding the Kurote, from the Noto Peninsula, a samurai's wife was groped by Kurote while she used the toilet. So the samurai severed its hand with his sword. Later, 3 monks appeared at his door, asking about the hand. When the samurai displayed
free
the hand,
cleaning
one of the
service,
monks
what the
transformed
heck?
into a large,
No!
black-haired monster and quickly snatched its severed hand back from the samurai. Hopefully this creature did not hide in any toilets after that, but something tells me it did. A fairly universal feature of many
Imagine getting groped while you're trying to poop.
In fact, there's an old Japanese proverb that states,
horrible.
Snitches get stitches. That is why the following duo of yokai are so very annoying. While they each have their own unique behaviors, the Mikari Baba and Hitotsume Kozo, or winnowing basket borrowing hag and one-eyed priest boy, are also known to work as a team of informers.
Or
and Inosidari Misnomi Yagoblam,
depending which way you want to
Kanto region of Japan, holds that on the nights of Kotoyoka, which occur
Can I have
twice
my
on the lunar
hand
calendar, Mikari Baba and Hitotsume Kozo will come down from the
casual.
mountains and investigate all the locals, especially those with bad hinges on their doors or bad manners, then report these people back to the gods so they can distribute illness or other fates as they see fit. Now, you might be thinking, hey, illness is more than annoying, it's potentially deadly, which I agree it is. But neither Mikari Baba nor Hitotsume Kozo cause illness, they simply report and snitch on people to the gods, which is really annoying. Both Mikari Baba and Hitotsume Kozo are yokai with a single eye, and in the case of
it's because the people are getting their judgment before it's due.
Many eyes or folds, like baskets, will scare her away. Mikari Baba is also known to be very greedy, and will scour the soil around every house for even as little as a single grain of rice, sometimes setting fire to the land with the torch held in her mouth as she does this. Thus, on Kotoyoka, residents will clean every grain of rice from their land and leave rice dumplings out for Mikari Baba. However, if they do not abide by these traditions, it is also thought that Mikari Baba will try to
So this is the equivalent of
one of their eyes,
leaving cookies for Santa,
simply annoying,
but you don't get you don't get gifts.
Baba seems to think
you
of
just
that as
don't get your house burned down.
Well, those are the 8 most annoying yokai I could find, but there are many others. If you know of any more annoying yokai not included in this list, or if you'd like to add more details to the yokai mentioned in this video, please do so in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, check out Linfame's collaboration video on the 8 most dangerous yokai, linked on the screen and
it's
in
pretty
the
cool video though. I like
that. It was a lot of fun doing this as a 2-part video with Linfame, who I've been a fan of for a while, so I'd like to thank him and recommend you check out his channel. If you enjoyed this video, you will likely also enjoy my breakdown of the mythology behind Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and Ponyo linked on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and give the video a like. Thanks for watching, and until next time.
That was a cool video.